Welcome to the instructional video for the Ixeo i746. Now this edition is in the champagne colour and I'll run through how to use it with you, starting from the outside. So on the rear of the vehicle we've got an entrance storage area with lockable hatches on either side. Now it is one key to do all the external lockers, and you do have a spare set on your Burstner key rings from new. Included with the vehicle we've got the carpets, we've got the toolkit. Just up there we've got a tyre inflation kit because there isn't a spare wheel as standard. We've got a position for the awning rail because it comes with an awning as standard, and on this I'll send you a separate video of how to use the awning. Some little chocks to stop it from rolling back, and your manuals and packs that come with the vehicle. We also have a light on the other side, and we also have heating into here as well, so it is fully heated into that area. The door holds up on a retaining pin just in there, and it just locks with your Burstner key just by twisting there. On the rear of the vehicle it's fitted with a high brake light and a reversing camera, so the camera can be positioned and changed. You just take the two caps off either side and that will allow you to change the angle of the camera. So this model has a big picture window in the rear, and I'll come on to that when we go inside. It has alloy wheels, an external shower point, and it does come with the shower hose as well. We've got a separate key for that, which will be given by the salesman on the day. The gas locker is here. So the standard version can house 2 gas bottles, and it comes with a regulator and a pigtail from new. If you do want to go onto the gas load system, it will take up to 2 11 kilo systems, and we generally fit the port into the actual door itself. If you don't use it and you're using normal colour bottles or your own suppliers, you must keep these vents free of any obstructions just at the bottom. That lets the gas escape. Underneath that you'll see there's a little diagram showing sort of water coming out, and this is your wastewater. So you'll be given a key which is housed into the service locker I'll show you in a minute, which goes onto the metal bar there, and that is turned to empty your wastewater, which is from the grey pipe just there. So it's quarter of a turn to empty it, quarter of a turn to fill it back up. To the side of it you've got your vent for your trimmer heating. You don't need to remove any covers or anything like that. Just be careful it does get warm though. And then further forward of that we've got your service locker. So you'll see at the minute here it's got a little red band on. Now it is in that position enabling you to travel, but it is open. So as you can see there, it will open when you twist it, and it will lock when you turn it back through. If you want to lock it completely, so use your Burstner key, turn it, push it in, and that is completely lockable. It will not open. It's up to you what you want to do with travelling. You'll see that there's a little slit in the actual rubber where your mains cable goes into, and on here is the little key that I mentioned that goes onto the actual point for your wastewater. Now that also holds the bracket for filling up the fresh water. So you remove the little blue cap, pop it on there, and you'll see there's a little cut up for the mains hose pipe to go onto. Hose pipes and mains cables aren't supplied with the Burstners, so you'll need to speak to your salesman on that respect. To fill it up, you put your hose pipe in there, and then you turn the wheel here. So turn it clockwise, and that will allow it to fill up firstly to your 20 litre tank, which it tells you on here. Keep turning it, and again it's only finger tight all the way around, and that will allow you to fill it up to your full 120 litres. The tank is transparent, so you'll see it filling up, and if you forget to do that it will simply drop out underneath the vehicle below. So that is your fresh water filler point. We've got 2 other items in this area which are just behind the mains cable here. The yellow toggle valve, which in the up position that it's in at the minute will drain it. To allow you to fill it up you just pop that down, and then we've got your frost protection valve for the boiler. So in the position that you see at the minute with the little blue valve pointing from front to back and the little nipple sticking up, that will drain it. To fill it up, click that, and then at the bottom press in the blue button. Now if you do one without the other, so if you forget to do either of the frost protection valves, so for instance you turn that and don't press the blue button in, it will still drain, and again it will drain out underneath the vehicle directly below. So make sure that you click it across and you press the blue button in. If it's below 4 or 6 degrees in this area, you'll need to run your heating on first to allow you to click that, because it won't click unless it reaches a certain temperature in this area. But as you can see here, you've got your heater vents that are heating that area for you. Make sure before you leave the site, you drive off, that you do remove your mains cable from there. It is sometimes something that is overlooked. Next to that, we've got your diesel cap, and that works off a fear key and the AdBlue below. The AdBlue is done on a counter system that allows you to count down when that AdBlue is running low, and will let you know. Onto the front of the vehicle then, your central locking will do both this cab door here on the passenger side and your habitation door. On the door itself, you've got an electric window switch, and you've got your blinds, which I'll come to when you're inside. And just in this area here, so just here, is where your bonnet release catch is. And I'll just point to that to make, so that's your bonnet release catch there, and that will give you access underneath the bonnet. So once pulled, it will release your bonnet, and then you can lift the bonnet up. You have a stay for holding it up, and again, pretty easy and identifiable where things are on here. So you've got your screen wash, you've got your dipstick, your oil filler, and then we've got your negative terminal, which is the little silver eyelet just there, and your positive, which is underneath the cap just there. To close it, just press it down, and that will close the vehicle. The vehicle's also got daytime running lights, and the mirrors are adjustable with the electric switch from the inside. The awning light, which is turned on near the door, as well as the strip light for the awning, that is standard. The electric step and the Hartel door is also a standard feature, as well as the external barbecue, which is housed under there. Your mains socket for outside power, both on 12 volt and mains. Now, as they're German, they are set up for a Continental, so you'll need an adapter just to plug in there like you use for travelling away. The compartment just in front of that is your toilet cassette, and to remove that, you simply lift up the handle, pull it out. The grey cap, which is just in the pack, it will be fitted on yours when you get it, but it comes in the pack when they're nearly from new. We'll just need putting onto the top here. You simply lift it up, slide it out, and then empty it, and then click it back in, making sure that that little handle is clipped in place just down at the bottom there, so that it doesn't slide about in travel. To lock it, again, using your Burstner key, twist it in, and that locks it in place. Another storage hatch opening door on this side, and again, that is where your light is found. We've also got some tying down brackets which can be slid along either side to secure anything from moving about in transit. Onto the inside. So the door itself is a premium Hartel door. It has a bin, it has a blind, and it has a fly screen, all is standard. You've got your switch for your step, which if you press it up, the step will go in. You press it down and it will go down, just like so. And then we've got the split switch here, which the first one nearest to you does the big awning light. The next one down does the light above the door. And then the big switch at the side of it are your welcome lights for the side of the vehicle inside. So that brings us inside the vehicle. So next to the door is where your TV will be mounted if you want a TV. And we've got mains, 12 volt and aerial sockets just located there. On the next socket down, we've got a twin USB, and that is located just down there, as well as another storage area below there. Above it, under the panel, is where your main control panel is, and just above that is the thermostat for the heating. So, under this panel is where all your main controls for the unit are found. What we do to turn it on is we press the button here. Now this button, when turned, will navigate us through the options, as you can see it moving along, telling us what options we want to do. When we want to turn it off, we simply go back onto the little standby button and press it to turn it off. You'll also have an indicator at the top of there to tell you that you are plugged into mains, if you are plugged into mains. So let's turn the power on. Once we've turned the power on, then we can turn the lights on in the vehicle, and we can do that using the smart controller just down here, and that will turn varying lights off. Now you've a couple of different controls. You've one there, you've one in the centre region, and then you've another one towards the rear of the vehicle just there. So the different switches are found throughout the vehicle as well. These little lights turn on and off just by pressing the little button, and they will slide and move around the vehicle wherever you want them to be in the different locations. So up from the main power source, you have your voltage in the habitation battery, your voltage in the vehicle battery, the freshwater control level, the wastewater control level, and then a timer setting if you want to set the time on this control panel. So pretty straightforward on that side of it. Lower down you have your temperature inside the vehicle, your temperature outside the vehicle, and you have your pump option to turn the water pump on and off. Now once you've got your water filled up on your water tank, as I showed you previously, turn your pump on and then turn your tap. Firstly, I always turn it to the hot. So again, the clearly marked on the top of the tap here. Turn your tap on, lift it up, you'll hear a little click. That is the marker switch switching on, and run it and pull it through the boiler. So as long as you've shut that little frost protection valve and the yellow valve, run it until you get a steady stream of water, and do that both in the kitchen area and the toilet area. The guide is just on the end of it, and the shower area. So pull it all through, then you don't get any airlocks in the vehicle until you've got a steady stream, and then you know the boiler is full of water. You can simply then just turn it off. Your fresh water should just run anyway, comes directly from it, and the toilet also feeds from your main water tank, so you haven't a separate rinse on that. So once you've got the control panel on, you've got the water filled up, we can then go to our Truma control panel just to the left hand side. Now always plug in your mains and turn your gas on before you turn this unit. It will stop any fault codes coming up. But once you press the button, you'll see that there's a little emblem to tell you that you're plugged into mains, which is just here. Press it again on the dial and it will give you your options. So the options are navigated by turning the dial again, so very similar to your main control panel system. So the first option we want to do is select the temperature that we want it in the vehicle. So obviously if it's warm you can turn it off and you don't need it on, but if you want the temperature to change to whatever comfortable in the vehicle, you'll turn the dial to the desired temperature and then press the button in. The next option I always go to then is the fuel source. So again, I've no gas as you've seen at the moment on this vehicle, but I have electric. So if I quickly select it to electric, I then can show you the other options. So we've got electric 2, which is electric 2 kilowatt, electric 1, which is 1 kilowatt, mix 2, so that's a mixture of your gas and 2 kilowatt electric. This is the most efficient and effective use to getting you up to temperature as quick as possible, using 2 kilowatts if you're in the mains and gas if you're got your gas turned on. The next option along is mix 1, and then we have the final option of gas. The reason I do this first of all onto electric is so that you don't time out and have any warning triangles telling you that there is a fault. So I always do that first. If you've got your gas on, then it's not a problem. You can go on to whatever you want. The next option along then I tend to choose is the fan. So you can see at the top of the line the fan is changing. Eco being slow, high being fast, and then boost being an option which you can choose. So in this situation we would do, because I've no water in, to get the temperature of the vehicle up to temperature as quick as possible. Now by selecting the boost, it does take the power away from the water heater, and it won't get the water heater up to temperature until it's turned back off boost. So if we wanted to get the water up at the same time, we would reduce that down to high. We would then go on to the thermostat, click the thermostat, and we would select Eco, which is slowly up to temperature, Hot, which is faster up to temperature. Generally a 40 or 60 degrees is what these two run at. And then we've got boost, and boost does the same as it will on the actual heating. It will take the power away from the heating to get the hot water up to temperature as quick as possible. So a good one if you get into site and you want to get your temperature up to speed on your water quicker than your actual heating. But if you're wanting to get both options up to temperature as quick as possible, then you'll need to select hot on that, and then high on your fan. So hot and high if you want them both to work, boost if you want in either or to work, and not forgetting that you can run this system if there's no water in. You can run the heater without having to select the water heater temperature. You must have that turned off and have it set up as you see it here on the display, with the temperature gauge selected, the fuel source selected, and the fan speed selected. So there are a lot of videos on the heating systems. I think you should find it relatively easy once you have a few goes at it. But they're the fundamental ways of using the heating. Before you leave for your onward journey, make sure you turn the unit off. And you do that by pressing and holding the circular button in until it tells you that it is off. Now always do that before you actually turn off the gas and remove the electric. Again, it stops any warning triangles appearing on that screen. If a warning triangle appears, it's generally telling you that something's not working, your gas, your electric, so it's advising you on that option. Let's start from the front of the vehicle first of all. So we can see that the seats swivel around on this particular model. So they'll swivel around just using the little levers here. And unlike most Fiat models, it does actually swivel and lock in place forward facing and in the rear position that you see here. So you'll just need to release that little handle when you're in the desired position to turn it back round from the rear facing to your forward facing. The two levers either side are for adjusting the height of the seat. And to the right hand side of it, we have your gear lever like you have on a normal Fiat. We have cup holders just down there and a blower vent to blow the heating through into the cab area should you want to do that on the cold days. We have a storage area that's under the liftable cupboard there. Light switch for the cab light on this side, and your mirror switches to navigate the mirror positions just there. We have your normal mode settings and your fog lights just on there. And we have the Fiat fuses, which are located underneath that panel there. On this side of the vehicle, we have the windscreen wipers and your trip counter. The vehicle is also fitted as standard with the multi-steering wheel controls, and is also a fully automatic 9-speed gearbox. So you'll see your options there with park, reverse, neutral and drive. We have the automatic climate control, so very similar to what we have in most modern cars. Your navigation unit and Bluetooth, hands-free, reversing camera. And we have the pull-up tablet holder just in there. And we do have a separate video for the cab area, and I'll send you that separately, or you can check out our YouTube channel. Driver's airbag's located underneath there, and underneath the seat in this particular model is where you will find all your main e-box. Now this is a fuseless system apart from 5 main fuses, which are located just at the top there, and your master fuse, which is a red one. What I mean by that is that the system uses a CAN bus system, so if there is a fault on most of the items, so bulbs and things like that, you'll need to rectify the fault first of all, find out what it is. So in an ideal world, if it's just a switch or a light, find the light that's affected, change the bulb, and it should reset itself. Any issues on that, you can obviously call our technical department, or you can ask, refer to your handbook. But that's pretty much what you'll need to know at this stage. Underneath the seat next to the door, you've got storage, and that's accessible from the top by removing the cushions or by the hatch at the side, just there. Press it in, and again, these press buttons must all be in place before you're driving off on your onward journey. The cab area also has the blinds fitted and they're the Remis cab blinds that are fitted to the side. And on the front, pull the little 2 pins together here and then pull that down for screening off that front area when you're driving. Sorry, when you're parked up in an evening. For driving, you have the visors, which are on both sides of the vehicle. Moving back, we can see that we've got the 2 seat belts. Now you can either have them on show if you've got passengers, or you can tuck them behind the seats if you're not. And then we have fly screens and blinds on all the windows, and all the opening windows have catches that literally release the catch like a standard catch and open the window to access, close it to obviously close it. Table wise, it's a centrally located table which has a lock pin underneath just there and a release pin just there. Once you release it, then it will slide either forward or backwards or left and right, depending on where you want it setting up. For your travelling passengers, for a bit more space, then you will remove that cushion just there, remove the base cushion, and then you'll see that that section is removable to give your passenger more space. To put it back, just reverse what you've done when you remove it, pop your cushions back, just there. Underneath on the floor we have a storage locker area in our thermal floor, so access for your storage, one just there and then one located just behind here where our ladders can be found for the drop down bed at the front. So moving to the drop down bed, what we need to do with the drop down bed is we always need to fold down the seats. And to fold down the seats on these duty seats, we simply just press and hold the little handle here. So press it back or forward and then it will come down. So fold the seats down just as you see there. And then to pull the bed down, you lift up the handle, which releases the catches, and then simply pull it down. And that will give you your bed, which has lights which are pressed on and off to turn them off, your own roof vent which has a fly screen and a blind located on there, and again the ladders to gain access can then just be fitted between the seat and the table to give you access up into that cab area. Once finished, you'll simply just push it up, and then you need to hear a click on either side. To test it, just pull down, and if it's clicked into either side it won't move. If it's not, then just give it a gentle push on either side that it's not clicked into. So that's the bed down. Storage, we've got storage just here, and these handles are just pulled down, which lifts up the little clip to give you access into it. Same on the main kitchen one, so I'll pull that down, give access into that area. This middle one, you press on the silver button which releases it, and then you can slide out the compartment, to which there is a electrical socket located just in there. Push that one back in and then simply clip that back in place. We also have another main socket located just in the kitchen area there, and we have your extractor fan, which again is standard, which is located just there, and the switch to turn that on is just located on the end of here, which just turns it on or off. Cooking facilities, we've got a 3-burner Thetford triplex cooker with both a grill and an oven, so very similar to what you're probably used to in home cooking. You've got the grill that simply turns to the right, so push it in and turn to the right for your grill. Make sure obviously with the grill that you do leave the door slightly ajar, just like that. And then the other option, turn it to the left and then just change the temperature by turning the dial around to the temperature that you want it to be. You've got the igniter on there, which will work for the hob, the oven and the grill. And then below that we have your main RCD box. So this is your trip switch. If your sight is tripped and that's down, flick them back up. If you are having a problem with your electric, we have a test button here, which if you press it, once you're hooked up to mains, should flick them down just as you see there, and then flick them back up. If that happens and you still have an electrical problem, I would probably speak to the site warden to make sure it's not an issue with the site itself. Staying with the kitchen, we've got your drawers at the bottom, and they simply just squeeze the handle and it releases the catch. Same on the next one up, which is for your utensils, and the last one above it is where you'll find your gas isolations. So as you see here in this position, and refer back to this if you're struggling, this is in a running position, so they should all be pointing up to allow the gas to go to the unit. That is the correct position. Back of our kitchen we've got our fridge, and we're utilising a Dometic fridge. So to turn the unit on, you press the standby button and it will light up. We have three options. So again, you'll see this beeping at the minute, and that's because I've not got the ignition on. Your 12 volt only works when the ignition is on. We've then got a gas option, which again will only work when the gas is turned on. And then we have an electrical option, which will obviously work when the electric's on. The final option is we have an automatic one. So if we select the automatic now, as I'm plugged into mains, it finds the main source and switches over your fridge to mains electric. On the gas side of it, you've got a little sticker which we leave on for you. You can remove it, but don't forget it. If you've got a gas failure, you'll need to reset it with the little switch here, just to get the gas working again. And then the temperature is as it says, the temperature gauge to turn it from the warmest to the coldest. When you open it up, it lights up nice and bright. It has a removable freezer compartment just in here, so you can decide whether you want it or not. If you want to remove it, your instructions are just there. And then we have your shelves and your storage in the door area. Above that, or sorry, to turn it off, press and hold the button and that will turn the unit off. Above it, we've got a press button which gives you access to a storage compartment here. Now this generally will take a microwave in that compartment if you should want it, and you still don't lose the appeal of having the door just there. Lastly, we've got another storage area here which houses the, or in this case, the shower, the external shower, and your plinth that fits into the kitchen, just to finish it off nice and neatly. Again, make sure that you press the button in when you're driving off, stop anyone moving around. Into the bathroom area. So I mentioned at the beginning of the bathroom the blade valve. So this is your blade valve here. You will need to slide it either to the back or the front to slide it to open up. And then above it we have our flush button, and this is directly from the fresh water tank. So if you've no water in the fresh water tank, your toilet will not work. And you've got an indicator to the left hand side which comes up when the toilet is full. It will swivel and move around so to a desirable position. To the side of it then, by pressing the button, we've got access to your toilet roll holder and storage under the sink. That's what the little cutout is there. Underneath there is your switch to turn on the bathroom light and another main socket. To the left hand side of the mirror, we've got the storage compartment, and again pressed in to lock it, we've got your mirror and your shower area. So we've got the door here. Remember to put the turnbuckle in place when you're travelling. We've got a shower towel rail, or a coat hanging rail if your coats are dirty or wet. And then we've got your vents. So to lift up the vents, you push it and lift it up, and push it and lift it down. On the vents themselves, it does come with a blind, so you can pull them through in an evening to stop the light when you open it up to use the toilet. And that's the same on that one and on the one above your head in the bathroom area. So pretty straightforward. Let's move then to the rear of the vehicle, and at the moment I've got it set up first of all with the bed down. So the cushions do need to remove, I've just popped them underneath just while the bed's down. The side one can stay there if you want, but the other two at the back must move. You've got light switches on the right, and then you've got to the left, as I'm looking towards the rear, more light switches, a mains cable and another twin USB charging point, and storage just above there should you wish it. We've got, again, fly screens, and by lifting it up, blinds. We also have the Burstner fit Vario blinds, which are either there just to finish it off during the day or just to give you a bit more style and finish in an evening. So they're the same on that side, and you also have a vertical one on the long window side. To put the bed up, you must have the key in place just in there. Turn it, and again you can leave your key in and then press the button up. If you release your finger, it will stop. So keep your finger on it. This will lift up the rear bed. Slide it away. Now we do say you can leave your bedding on. Your pillows, if they're not too thick, you can leave them on. If they're really thick pillows, guys, just find somewhere to store them in your wardrobe or your one of your other storage areas. It will just stop any undue pressure on the actual bed itself. But once it reaches the top, it will just stop itself, and you won't be able to move the bed up any further. So in this rear area, we can just pop our cushions back, just like so. So you've got a nice snug L-shaped seating area. Your table extends and then folds over, so you've got a nice sort of area there for drinks and snacks. Storage, we've got storage in the cupboards just here, and again make sure that before you set off you do just press the buttons in. A mains point located just down here, and we have the facility on this model for rear TV, so your bracket and your relevant sockets are found just there. To divide the area off, we have the option of the sliding screen. So you press the button up where my finger is there, that releases the door across. It goes in two parts just to store away the rear area from the front. So privacy when you're in bed, and a bit of comfort and privacy if you've got others in the vehicle, children, guests, things like that. That can be found just there. In the rear compartment, we've also got a wardrobe, so a full length storage just above, and we've got plenty of heater vents. So your heater vents are the Truma vents. You can open and close the vents depending on which way you want it by moving the flaps either close or open. You'll see that they're dotted around the vehicle. You have heater pipes through the back, you have a heater pipe that goes up the top, so you're heated all around the vehicle at all times as long as you've got your heating turned on. We've got another storage area just towards the rear. The shelves are removable if you want to do that, and again you'll see the heater pipe even running into the back of the cupboard area there. So that is the instructional video for the fabulous Burstner Ixeo i746. We hope you enjoy it, hope you find it interesting. We'd love to hear some comments for you, and if you do get a motorhome of this model, send us some pictures of you enjoying the Burstner motorhome. Thank you and goodbye.